In part one, we exposed procrastination, but today we expose the voice behind it. Last time you realized something uncomfortable. You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're not even lacking discipline. You're protecting a story. And if you actually sat with that question, what story am I telling myself about the thing that I keep avoiding? Something surfaced. Maybe it came quickly, maybe you resisted it, maybe you tried to intellectualize it, but it was there. For some, the story sounded like I'm not ready and I'm already behind. I'm not leadership potential. I don't have what they want. People like you don't win. If you try and fail, that's it. If you go all in and it doesn't work, you won't recover. And if those are the stories that are coming up, I present to you the question that changes everything. Who told you that? Not what happened, not what went wrong, not what didn't work. Who told you that about you? This is part 2, and today we're going to talk about the fact that most of the beliefs running your life were installed before you knew you had a choice. Let's slow this down. No 5-year-old wakes up and says, you know what, I think I'll develop imposter syndrome. I think I'll second guess every opportunity. I think I'll play small just to be safe. The story came from somewhere. It came from a moment. Maybe it was obvious. A teacher who said carelessly that you're not applying yourself. A parent who constantly compared you to your siblings. A coach who told you you just don't have it when you were trying your best. Or maybe it was subtle. A look, a tone, a silence, a room that went quiet when you spoke, a group project where your idea was ignored, an audition you didn't get, or an opportunity that went to someone else. It didn't have to be dramatic, it just had to be emotional. Because beliefs aren't born in logic, they're born in emotion. Let's say you're 11 years old. You try something new, maybe sports, maybe speaking, maybe creativity. You step forward with confidence and it doesn't go the way that you expected. Maybe you missed the shot. Maybe you forgot the lines. Maybe someone laughs. Maybe someone criticizes you in front of others. It lasts seconds, but inside it feels enormous. Heat in your chest, tightness in your throat, embarrassment, and confusion. And because you don't yet have the emotional tools to process that emotion, your brain does something incredible. It protects you. It creates a shortcut. If I don't try that hard again, I won't feel this again. If I stay quiet, I won't risk embarrassment. If I lower my expectations, I won't be disappointed. Survival created the rule, and the rule worked. You avoided the feeling, you avoided the spotlight, you avoided the vulnerability. But here's the part we rarely examine. Survival was never meant to define your ceiling. The rule helped you survive. It was never designed to help you win. The brain is a pattern-making machine. It takes one painful experience and turns it into this policy. One rejection becomes you're not desirable. One failed attempt becomes you're not cut out for this. One public correction becomes you should never speak up again. One betrayal becomes don't trust fully. The brain doesn't ask, is this universally true? It asks, how do we avoid feeling that way again? And it writes a rule. A child-made rule. The child makes the rule, but the adult never reviews it. Years pass and you grow physically. Now you have skills, you have experience, you have perspective. But the unexamined rule grows with you. And now you're not in a classroom, you're in a boardroom. You're trying out for a team. You're building a business. You're no longer asking for permission to speak. You're being invited and entrusted to lead. And that old rule activates. Stay safe. Don't overreach. Don't look foolish. Don't aim too high. Some call it personality. Some call it caution. Some call it humility. Others call it realism. I'm just being realistic. But it started as protection. And protection, left unchallenged, becomes limitation. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of the limits you think are yours are borrowed. Borrowed from someone else's fear. Borrowed from someone else's insecurity. Borrowed from someone else's limitation. Maybe someone told you you're too much. You need to tone it down. You're unrealistic. Be practical. Be careful. Don't get your hopes up. And because they were older, louder, closer, authority figures, you accepted it, not because it was accurate, but because accepting it felt safer than questioning them. And when we're young, safety matters much more than accuracy. So you internalize it. You turn someone else's opinion into your identity. And I pose this question to you. When the voice says, "You're not ready," does it actually sound like you? Or does it sound like someone you've known before? When the voice says, "Don't get ahead of yourself," who used to say that? When it says you're not that kind of person, who first implied that to you? Sometimes the voice in your head isn't yours, it's an echo of a moment, an echo of a criticism, an echo of a wound. And if you never question the origin of the echo, you'll spend your entire life obeying it. You'll mistake it for intuition. You'll mistake it for wisdom. You'll defend it as this is just who I am. I've been told this my entire life. And you'll build your life around a wound. This is why procrastination feels automatic. Because every time you approach the thing that stretches you, the old rule activates, not consciously, but instantly. Don't risk embarrassment. Don't overcommit. Don't try too hard. Don't outshine. Don't be seen as too much. And it feels smart, feels protective. It even feels mature, but it's outdated programming. And it was installed by a younger version of you who didn't know how to process pain yet. And here you are, grown and beautiful, capable, skilled, and experienced, still obeying a rule written in a moment of fear. Let that sink in. Is the hesitation you feel today loyalty to a conclusion that you made years ago? And here's the breakthrough. Because awareness alone isn't transformation. It's the beginning of it, but it's not the total thing. You can actually know this intellectually and still live inside of the rule. You have to confront it. You have to put the belief in front of you and ask it questions. Is this universally true? Is this based on one moment or consistent evidence? Was this formed from wisdom, like I'm telling everybody? Or was this formed from pain? Is it protecting me? Or is it limiting me? Just because a belief protected you once doesn't mean that it deserves to guide you now. You are not your younger coping strategy. You are not the worst moment you experienced. You're not the sentence that someone carelessly spoke over you. And you are not required to live inside a story that you didn't consciously choose. Imagine a house you lived in your entire life. You didn't build it, you inherited it. You grew up inside it, learned the hallways, memorized the creaks in the floor, adjusted to the draft that comes through the window. And on one wall near the entrance, there's a framed rule. The rule says, be realistic. You've walked past it so many times that you don't even see it anymore. You just live by it. Now imagine one day someone visits the house. They walk in, look around, and pause at the frame. Hey, you good? Why is that rule on your wall? You shrug and say, I don't know, man. It's always been there. Well, who put it up? You think, you try to remember, and suddenly you see it. You weren't an adult, you were a kid. Standing on a chair, holding a hammer that was too big for your hands, nailing the frame into the wall after a moment of hurt. It was after someone laughed and someone corrected you. Someone told you to tone it down. And after that, you decided, I won't feel this way ever again. You put the rule up to protect yourself, and it worked. And you've been living by it ever since. So you're telling your friend this story, and your friend looks at you and says, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but you're not that kid anymore. You're taller, stronger, and wiser now. And yet you're keeping the rule hanging in your house. And every major decision you make, you glance at it, not because it's true, but because it's so familiar that you've forgotten that it's there. And the friend continues, just because you hung the frame doesn't mean that you can't take it down. And I've recorded this video to tell you that just because a belief protected you once doesn't mean it deserves permanent wall space in your life. Just because a voice is loud, it doesn't mean that it's authoritative. And there's somebody watching me that is living inside of rules that were set by your 11-year-old self. Man, I don't know why this is coming out so strong, but I'm gonna rock with it. For you listening to me, that rule was written in embarrassment. It was written in comparison. It was written because of fear. And you've been calling them your personality ever since. But I challenge you to walk through your house, look at the walls, and when you see that rule, ask yourself one more time, who put that there? Don't judge the memory, don't dramatize it, just identify it. Because once you see where a belief started, it loses its illusion of permanence. It becomes a choice, and choices can always be revisited. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and throw something in the comments and let me know. And always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you. I'll see you on the next one.